All right, I'm going to show you how to find take a quick look at the data in case you want to show your students the data from the seismometer that you've got running. So this is the station in Powell Township is called R8E16. And I'm on this Raspberry Shake page, dataview.raspberryshake.org. The data should be stored here for about 30 days. So you can go back a little bit to see older earthquakes. And you can see that for some significant earthquakes, they have little labels on the time series here. So this is a time series of data for the last 24 hours. This is UTC time on the left here. This is Greenwich Mean Time, essentially. And then Eastern Standard Time over here. And there's a 5-hour difference right now. 24 hours of data are shown here. You can make adjustments to that if you want. And the data show everything. They show cars driving by. They show people walking through the hallway. They show the heating rattles, the rattles in the heating system. They'll show water running through the pipes. So lots of stuff on here that aren't earthquakes, but and so the earthquakes don't necessarily stand out. But we can make them stand out if we use a filter. So this little funnel icon here is the filter. You can set your own filter corners, the frequencies that you want, or you can choose some from the defaults or the preset ones, I guess I should say. And since this earthquake was pretty far away, 90 degrees away or something, mostly we're going to see some P waves, but we're going to mostly see low frequency stuff. So I'm going to choose the global filter, and you can see it filters from 0.1 hertz to 0.8 hertz. So 0.1, that's 10 seconds period, 10 seconds per cycle, or 0.1 cycles per second, up to almost 1 hertz. And this is going to be pretty good for this big earthquake, I think. So now we're going to see the data plotted again, but it's going to be filtered. And it looks a little bit different. Instead of seeing all those little tiny events on there, which are mostly cars driving by and people walking by and things like that, now we see these two main features, and I'm going to boost the scale here. And we can see this Turkey event here. This is the big one, the magnitude 7.8. And then this other one here is that magnitude 7.5 event that occurred, about 10 hours later, 9 or so hours later. And you can actually click on these and it'll bring up a zoom window. Okay, this window is not filtered, but you can filter it in the same way by clicking on these filters. You can also look at the data in a different way. So this is a spectrogram. So this shows you the frequency content of the data. And so it's taking all that information in that wiggle time series and determining the frequencies of all the different features and then plotting those as an intensity. You can see down here, this is where we filtered these low frequencies down here. So this is really what we're seeing is the arrival of this first waves coming in here with these low frequencies, and then it continues on down here. Before that, it's very quiet here, as you can see by these dark purples indicating there's not much signal there. We don't see this thing because we filtered it out. If I go back to this other page and I turn off the filter, right now it's going to replot everything. We barely see those earthquakes from Turkey, but we see all these little things like this car driving by. Maybe it's the snowplow. Here's another one. All these guys like this. Okay, and you can see in this frequency display that they're mostly 10 to 20 hertz. Okay, so let's go back to this. You can try other things too. You can try the regional. Probably won't show up quite as well, but I bet we'll still see those Turkey earthquakes pretty well. Yeah. We also see now a lot of other noise from cultural noise. from people at school. You can see right about 8 o'clock, things start to get pretty busy at the school. But the earthquakes show up well here. I think this is another earthquake. This is probably a small aftershock that shows up here. And we could look it up, but there's that. Okay, then one other thing to show you real quick is the Seneca earthquake that was in New York, near Seneca, or Seneca Falls, I think. And I think this is it here. I gotta look up the timing of it. So I'm just gonna do that. Let's go to earthquake, usgs.gov, and this is the one. It was at 6:15 Eastern time, so 11:15 UTC. Let's go back here. So 11:15. So this is probably it showing up here. Takes a few minutes for those P waves to arrive. Let's just go to yeah. And we'll go to regional filter. It's not a great recording, but it's a little earthquake. Magnitude's 3.8, so this is it here. Can't pick the P wave very well, but you can see the event there. I think that's what it is. Okay, anyway, that's just a quick reminder of this tool, and they've recently added some new features, like putting these big earthquakes in there, so that's kind of cool. So and you can see what other stations are online too. So there's Marquette's got their station here. We can just go right to that one. That's called S8117. And we can go 24-hour plot. And kind of similar. Ooh, looks kind of weird. But if we filter, we should be able to see those big earthquakes. There they are. So the smaller one. And then the big magnitude 7.8.